Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's hearing. My name is Councillor Rima Baklini, and I shall be chairing the meeting. My colleagues, Councillor Anand and Councillor Deer, and I comprise today's subcommittee. Makisha Grant, who is the clerk to the subcommittee, will be minuting the meeting, and Hatun Zeb is the legal advisor to the subcommittee. You will have all received or seen the agenda pack within which is contained the licensing officer's report with details of the application in section 1. To confirm, we are dealing with a review application relating to Khushi Nepalese restaurant, and we note there has been a response to the application. In accordance with procedure, I shall invite the applicant to present the application, answer any questions, and call any witnesses. I'll also invite those who have made representations to make their representations, answer any questions, and call any witnesses. At the conclusion of the hearing, the subcommittee, accompanied by the legal advisor and the committee democratic services officer, will retire to consider its decision. The decision will be given at the end of the meeting, probably 12 p.m. today, and confirmed in writing within 5 working days. If the panel cannot reach a decision today, you will be notified in writing within 5 working days of the panel's decision. I would now please ask you guys to introduce yourselves. I will start with the Home Office representatives, please.
Yeah, good morning. Jamie Foster, Chief Immigration Officer in the West London Immigration and Compliance Team.
I'm Jonathan Burton, Immigration Officer with West London Immigration.
Thank you. May I ask, please, the premises license holder, please, to introduce himself. You're on mute, sir.
My name is Ojas Singh, and I am the premises license holder for Khushi Nepalese restaurant.
Perfect, thank you. May I ask, please, the Home Office representative to introduce his application, please.
Okay, on Saturday, 21st of December 2024, West London Immigration Team visited Nepal restaurant at 23 Boston Parade, Hanwell, West 7 2DG, having received intelligence that the business were employing illegal workers. Officers entered the premises under Section 179 of the Licensing Act 2003, where 8 workers were encountered. 4 of these workers were arrested for immigration offences. 3 had no permission to work in the United Kingdom, and the 4th worker was working in breach of his conditions. A civil penalty notice was issued, and a civil penalty was issued for £80,000 on the 24th of February 2025. This penalty was paid in full, utilising the faster payment option, which reduced the amount payable to £56,000. The reasons for the review are that immigration officers encountered 8 workers. 50% of those workers were working on an unlawful basis. Ojesh Singh, who is currently active and responsible for overseeing the business and therefore the right to work checks, whether by negligence or willful blindness, illegal workers were employed at the premises. Yet it is a simple process for employers to check the right to work, as it's free to do so and can be done online in minutes. Had the employer checked these checks as required, he could easily have avoided employing illegal workers and therefore prevented crime and disorder taking place. It is an offence to work when a person is disqualified to do so, and such an offence can be committed with the cooperation, can only be committed with the cooperation of the premises licence holder and or his agents. Furthermore, the use of illegal labour provides an unfair competitive edge and deprives the UK economy of tax revenue. Illegal workers are mostly paid in cash and no national insurance payments are paid. In this case, some of the illegal workers were paid in varying rates of pay, ranging from £8.30 an hour to £11 an hour. This is below the minimum wage, which at the time of the enforcement visit was £11.44 per hour. One worker stated that he was not paid in cash at all and instead received food and just £13 travel expenses in return for his work. This is clear evidence of labour exploitation.
3 of the 4 illegal workers stated during the interviews that Mr. Ojesh Singh either allowed them to work at the premises and or paid them for their work. None of the workers mentioned any involvement of a Mr. Dipendra Karki, who was the claimed management contract as per the licence holder's representations. Consideration has been given to the potential outcomes of the hearing, including the issuance of a warning, suspension of the premises licence, or the removal of the designated premises supervisor. However, due to the seriousness of the illegal working identified and associated concerns around exploitation, these measures are deemed inadequate. The gravity of the breaches necessitates a proportionate and robust response to uphold licensing objectives and safeguard vulnerable individuals. We would therefore like to revoke the premises licence. Unless I can answer any specific questions, I don't propose to take up any more of your time, and I thank you for your attention and considerations.
Thank you. Mr. Singh, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask the Home Office representatives?
No, I don't.
Not at all? Councillors, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask the Home Office representatives? Councillor Anand, go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation, officers. I just want to ask, has there been any other instances where you've had to visit these premises for breach of immigration, or had to warn them, advise them, or is this the first occasion?
Good morning, Councillor. This is the first occasion.
Thank you.
Chair, I have no questions.
Thank you, Councillor. Mrs. Zeb, I can see that your hand is up. Do you have any questions, any advice?
Yes, Chair. It's bear with me one moment. I think it may have been Mr. Foster in his representation mentioned that it's a simple process and it's free to do so in regards to worker checks for rights to work in the UK. It may be helpful to the panel and indeed to the premises licence holder if Mr. Foster could explain that process so that we're all clear on it and it can be considered in your decision making.
Thank you. Yes, this is very helpful.
Yeah, thank you for that. So sorry. So you have to go onto the gov.uk website. There's a search bar where you can put in employing workers, and from there it's a very straightforward process of doing a right to work check. So you submit that person's details, and either it's an instant reply or can take a team a certain amount of time. I don't know what that period is. So I wouldn't want to say it's 7 days or 5 days, but it's a very quick process to get a response from the relevant Home Office team. Alongside that, you can obviously do your own checks as well. We're not expecting business holders and licence holders to be immigration experts. However, asking for someone's right to work confirmation, whether that's a letter or a stamp in their passport, for example, also we'd like to say that that can be done in the interim period.
Thank you. Mr. OJ, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask? You don't even have one question. Anything that you'd like to ask the Home Office about before we?
As you probably see, I'm very nervous at the moment, and I actually requested to adjourn this the hearing, mainly because I haven't been able to find a representative, a legal representative to support me in this process. So I'm not sure what to ask. So I don't have any question at the moment. If it is at all possible, then I would like to request adjournment of this hearing and have a legal support.
Mr. Singh, this was already discussed prior to the hearing going ahead, and you had enough time to find a legal representative. But Mrs. Zeb could also explain further.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Ojesh, your request for an adjournment was received on the 1st of September and it was responded to by the licensing team. And it was considered on the following summary that the actual Home Office immigration team visited your premises on the 21st of December of last year, so that you would have been aware at that point that some action will be taken because you were issued with a penalty notice to be paid for the illegal workers at your premises. You were also served with the papers from the Home Office, I understand, on the 21st of July of this year regarding the review of the premises. So again, you would have been aware at that point that this hearing was going to be taking place at some point very soon. You've clearly made attempts to be able to get supporters for this hearing and for you to retain your premises license, because there are 8 persons within the agenda pack who've made representations to support your premises license, and these have been received since the 17th of August. And they form part of the agenda pack. So therefore, it was the view of the local authority that you've clearly been given sufficient time to prepare for this hearing and obtain that legal advice. There was no detail in your email request on where the delay has occurred. If indeed you wanted that legal advice. The test under Regulation 11 of the Licensing Act 2003, Hearing Regulations 2005, is whether it's necessary in the public interest. Now, in view of the fact that you have 8 persons supporting your application, a view was taken that you've had more than sufficient time to be able to obtain legal advice, and that's the reason why your request for an adjournment of this hearing was refused, and the hearing is to proceed today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the explanation.
All right. Mr. Singh, I'll now ask you, please, if you would introduce your case.
Yes, my name is Ojesh Singh. I'm the premises license holder for Khushi Nepalese Restaurant, 23 Boston Parade. Yeah, I would like to begin by saying that I fully respect the licensing process and take my responsibilities seriously. And I would also like to highlight that, you know, as I put in my representation, that I took over the business from the management agreement early last year. And when one of the key member of the team left, I was quite concerned about having the rest of the team intact. You know, in doing so, I have probably oversighted, not intentionally, looking at looking at the right for work, and which I take responsibility for, and I am sorry about that, and that is why I have also paid the penalty as requested. Not that I had that much money, I have got loans and stuff like that from friends and family to pay that off. Now I have, after that incident, I have definitely been more careful. I've taken certain measures to make sure that this is not repeated, because, you know, £56,000 is not a joke. It's not something that you have in your back pocket. Well, at least I don't. And I have learned my lesson, absolutely. This is not going to happen. And I have mentioned in my representation the measures that we have taken. So apart from that, I would also like to highlight that, you know, I have worked in a restaurant for last 26 years, from 1999. And this little restaurant that we have in Boston Manor is very little. It's not corporate funded or anything, you know. It's me just trying to make a living out of it. And I understand that the mistake has been happened while unintentionally. I regret that, and I have taken things. But for this licensing review, in last however many years we have been there, we've never had any complaints. We've been very family-oriented, small restaurant. And, you know, if you go past the restaurant on weekdays, there are hardly any people after 8, 9 o'clock, because it's a very small strip of road. Mostly elderly people live there. You know, we don't cause any public a nuisance or any disturbances or public safety things. The people have been there. You know, I wanted to keep them in the team because they were very good people, and as you can see from the representation, you know, there hasn't been any problems. So that probably made me overlook their right to work as well, and I regret that. So if we revoke this license and stuff like that, it will put extreme financial stress on the business, my family. I've got 2 little children as well, and obviously to the local people as well who have used us for many years. I am happy to take any additional condition on the license if possible, and you know, I would, if there's any reviews to be done every month or every week, you know, and then things like that, I'm more than happy to comply with, even with the Home Office or the council. If there are things that I could do to make this right, as you know, as Jamie Foster, Ms. Foster already mentioned, this is the first time it has ever happened, and it has been an oversight, and I have paid the price already. And I would like to comply with the law. I would like to work with the council and Home Office so that this doesn't happen again. And that is what I can say, I guess, at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. I'd like to ask the Home Office representatives if you have any questions to ask Mr. Singh, please.
I think the only thing that I'd just like to clarify is, I appreciate Mr. Singh saying that there was a management contract in place until the latter part of 2024. When the officers visited the premises, as I said in my opening statement, none of this work has actually mentioned the management contract. Mr. Karki, I believe his name is, and everybody said they were paid by Mr. Singh. So it's just a little bit concerning if you have come back into the business and you have taken over, that initially you haven't had a sort of a look at that, and you have been stated as someone who's still paying those wages. And whether those right to work checks were done by the management consultant or yourself, the wages are not in line with that of the minimum wage, which is concerning. And there's mentions in those interviews in the pack of cash being paid, and what's more concerning is someone not being paid at all and just having their travel expenses paid. So it's not really a question, it's more of a statement. It's just a little bit concerning, having taken it back. You know, how if that's happened, how are you going to change your processes moving forward?
Now, the idea now is, you know, as I have delegated before my work to other people in the restaurant, and as you probably know, that I was not in the restaurant itself, and when this thing happened, I was letting it run itself for a short period of time, and I think that has been a mistake. I have taken off all the delegations work. I have let it run by itself, which shouldn't have happened, I guess, and in the hindsight, you know. But now I have taken control of the restaurant fully now. And I'm trying to make all the amends that is possible, and you know, I'm not delegating anything. I'm not letting go things as they happen. So you know, we will make sure that we have complied with everything that is legal and that should be done going forward. And as I said, I'm more than happy to review these processes with yourself or council if need be.
Thank you, Mr. Singh.
No further questions from us.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Councillors, do you have any questions to ask Mr. Singh?
Chair, I have no questions.
Okay, Councillor Anand, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for your presentation and your representation. You said in your representation that you let go of responsibilities and you delegated. Can you, is this your only business, or is this the only thing that you do?
No, that's not right. I have another employment as well, which takes my time, and that's why I had this management contract in place. And when he left, you know, I just haven't had enough time to find somebody to fully help.
So would you explain what else you do, please?
I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I work full time as a product manager.
Okay, so you work full time and you employ other people to carry out your business. Is that right?
I had a management contract, yes.
Did you, when you took this management contract, did you know the people that you were employing?
No, I only took one person in contract, and he had his own team, which I continued with.
So was this person that you appointed a management contract to, was that person working with you in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. And you are the DPS, am I right?
What does DPS stand for?
You are the premises license holder.
Yes, yes.
And the DPS. I hope you know what that means. Have you done the licensing course?
Yes, I have done licensing course, yes.
Designated premises license holder.
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay. Did you, alongside this breach of immigration, there are certain conditions as a DPS or as a premises license holder that did you officially make any records of who you've appointed to replace you when you're not there to sell alcohol?
No, I haven't. But the person.
Are you aware of that? Are you aware of the responsibilities you have when you're not at the premises to give permission to other people to sell on your behalf?
Yes, the person who was doing the management contract has his own personal license as well to sell the alcohol.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have any records of any people that were working? You're saying there was a management contract. Did you have any records that you inspected? Did you go to the premises ever?
I did go to the premises, but I didn't check the records, no.
Okay, so I have no more questions, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Anand. So yes, I wanted also to ask, how often were you present at the premises? If you can, like, give
Sure. Before the immigration raid, I think I was there only once or twice a week, if that. But after that, I have been involved pretty heavily. I'm there at least once a day.
Okay, Mr. Singh, I'm going to ask you, in case the license doesn't get revoked, in case we're not sure yet, I'd like to ask if some conditions would be okay with you. The first one would be about undertaking the right to work checks for all the staff employed at your premises.
Yes.
And so you should be keeping a physical evidence of these checks. I think the Home Office would be the best to advise on these. And I'd like also to add a condition about paying the minimum living wage to your employees.
Yes.
I would also like to ask Mr. Foster, do you have any conditions that you'd like to add in case the license doesn't end up being revoked?
Yes, we do, Councillor. Actually, I think just off the back of your recommendation, I think that's a very good place to start. Having those records on site at all times for all staff and readily available, not just to us as Home Office, but also to any responsible authorities, and full compliance with any sort of compliance visit or an operational visit. One of the things that the officers on the day did encounter was there was no designated manager or supervisor on site. All 8 staff were asked, and nobody could point us in the direction of someone responsible. So that was a little concerning from even a fire sort of perspective, that who was the key holder. So that again is another concern. But I think if we could start with having those documents readily available and then full compliance with any future visits.
Certainly.
Mrs. Zeb, I see your hand is up.
Yes, Chair. I was just going to refer you to the agenda pack on page 72 in the large print, which is the premises license holder's representation to the committee in support of his license. And under the heading remedial actions, he has suggested the strengthened employment checks. All current and future employees' right to work status will be verified using the official Home Office service with written and digital records maintained. The second one is staff training. All staff will receive regular training on licensing laws and employment compliance. And third, compliance policy. A written policy is now in place to ensure adherence to all licensing, employment and record keeping requirements. I just wanted to bring that to your attention because it appears that that is something that he has offered in terms of his representations.
Great.
And that's that's page 72 of the agenda pack in the large print and page 68 in the small print.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will now ask everybody if they have any further questions before we move on to summing up. Anyone? No more questions? Fine.
Chair, can I ask? I thought that we had some customers of the restaurant who'd made representations. Are we going to hear from them in person, or we're just going to proceed on the basis of their written statements?
They're not here, Councillor Dia. So
Fine.
we've
Thank you.
all read the representations in the pack and will be taken into consideration. I'll move now to summing up. I'll invite the Home Office, please, to sum up.
Thank you, Councillor. The Home Office does not wish to be involved in unnecessarily restricting genuine community services and businesses. However, there are concerns over the way that the Nepal restaurant, Khushi Nepal, is being run with little regard for the legal requirement to check a person's right to work and payment of the national minimum wage, resulting in exploitation concerns. There needs to be some remedy to that behaviour, a clear message to other businesses who are fully complying with relevant legislation that satisfactory action has been taken. The relevant statutory guidance offers some suggestions. Your legal advisor will also be able to do so, and you will have your own views and concerns to consider. The Home Office have presented this evidence to inform the Licensing Committee considerations and to draw to its attention the significant risks of the prevention of crime and disorder objective being undermined. In line with the guidance, the Home Office is seeking for the subcommittee to consider the full revocation of the premises licence. It is requested that the Licensing Committee consider the premises licence and take action as it considers necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Singh, could you please briefly sum up?
Yes, thank you. Chairs, members and subcommittee, I'd like to thank you for hearing me today, first of all, and I accept full responsibility for the mistake that led to this review. Whereas this is not the consequences of the mistake, but I fully take responsibility. And the mistake that has happened was never deliberate. And I have paid the penalty mentally, physically, and also economically in full, with great struggle. Since then, I have, as I mentioned, I've taken clear steps, practical steps to ensure that this never happens again, and I am more aware of things that's happening around me. I'd also like to add that I have been, or we have been, the restaurant have been part of Hanwell community for many years. Even before I took over it, and our neighbours and our local businesses and the local patrons have always been supportive to us, and they have always vouched for us. As I said earlier, this restaurant is not just to make money and have better life and stuff like this. Is just to make living, and also to have a community feeling. The revoking of the license would cause serious hardship to family, my staff, and also to the community who have enjoyed this restaurant for many years. So I therefore respectfully ask you to allow the license to remain in place. I'm willing to have review of all the processes that I have had. If there are further more trainings that I need to take, then I'm more than happy to do that as well. And if there are any additional conditions that committee feels are necessary to give reassurances, then I'm more than happy to comply with as well. Thank you for the consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. We'll now retire, deliberate together with legal advisor and clerk. And we should be back, I think, around 12. Mrs. Sepp, is this a good time, 12, or do you think we should come back a bit earlier?
No, that's fine, Councillor. If midday is when you want to come back, that gives you sufficient time to be able to consider your decision with your colleagues.
Thank you. Okay.